In this video, we'll be walking you through 3 variations of how to perform the short arm lever plank. Let's have a look at variation 1, and it involves hip abduction. In this example, we're going to target the right hip, so this involves us laying on our right side. Once in this position, you're going to have a certain amount of bend both at the knee and the hip. This will vary depending on an individual's mobility. Additionally, the goal here is to use the bottom leg to push the hips and spine away from the ground. Keeping this in mind, the hip and knee starting angle will vary greatly between individuals. So you're looking for the sweet spot that allows the individual to move with the most control through the greatest degree of motion. I'll perform 3 repetitions to show you what this form entails. Once we have our starting angle identified, we're going to stack the other leg right on top. Then we'll make sure that the elbow is underneath the shoulder and that the palm is facing the floor. And from here, we'll put our hand on our opposite hip and perform the repetition. In order to bring myself up off the floor, I'll need to take and push my right knee directly into the ground, and that will raise my hips towards the ceiling. During this portion of the exercise, make sure that the head, chest, and pelvis are all in a line. Once in this position, you'll hold and squeeze your abdominal muscles on the right side of the trunk for 1 to 2 seconds and then slowly drop the hips down toward the floor. For the second variation of this exercise, we're going to use the same starting position that we previously discussed. From here, we'll push our right knee into the floor, and that will move our hips toward the ceiling. At this point, our head, trunk, and hips should be in a straight line. We're now ready to throw a torso twist into this position. This will involve keeping the head, trunk, and hips stacked as we rotate and face the ground while staying supported by the right forearm and shoulder. Here's what this looks like. Once you've mastered the first 2 variations, you're ready to move on and put them both together. So here's what this looks like. You'll push up through the right knee, elevating the hips towards the ceiling. Add the rotation in. We rotate back and return back to the floor. That is 1 repetition. We'll begin with a self-check pre-test, just to get an idea of how mobile we feel through the hips. We'll start by getting nice and tall through the spine, and then we'll select the leg and we're going to rotate it outward, away from the body. This movement is referred to as hip internal rotation. After we do this 2 or 3 times, we're going to take and reverse the motion, so we'll go in the opposite direction. This is referred to as hip external rotation. When performing these movements, pay attention to how far you can move, as well as how easy it is to perform the movement task. Not only does this exercise have the ability to make changes in the hip, but we can also get some increases in shoulder and neck range of motion. So we're going to start off here by laying on our back, and we're going to see how well our arm can rotate down to the floor. We call this internal rotation. You'll notice I have a towel underneath my elbow, and that just lines the arm up with the shoulder socket. We'll also go in the opposite direction. This is external rotation. So we'll try it a few times, and we're feeling for, can you get the shoulder into either position further, and does it feel easier to move in and out of position? And lastly, it has the ability to increase rotation on the side we rotated towards during the exercise. So we're going to sit real tall and lengthen through the spine and make sure that we're focusing our gaze straight ahead. And we're going to rotate to the right and look over the right shoulder, since it was the right shoulder that we had on the floor while performing the exercise. We're feeling for increased ease of movement or a range of motion gain in which you can rotate your head further to the right.